Hi, this is Steve Gillmor. We're having a slightly impromptu Gillmor Gang. We've got Robert Scoble from Foo Camp on the phone, on the video phone. Hey, Robert.
Hey, what's up? I'll just walk around a little bit. We're in the kitchen here. Actually, let me just, since we're gonna do the phone thing. Hold on a second. That's Liam.
As soon as he
Runs one of the biggest supply chains in China. Liam, what's that? Yeah. Alright. We're getting kicked out of the kitchen. We're getting kicked out of the kitchen. Let me turn the camera around. Now you get to see what I'm looking at. So, here we go. Alright, there's Kevin Marks. Kevin, give us a tour of Foo Camp.
Okay.
I have no idea what this looks like on the other end, but actually, did you know? Let me just put this stuff down right here.
You're doing it on the phone?
Yeah, we're doing it on the phone, but we can turn it horizontally. Steve, does that look good horizontally?
Yeah, it looks great.
So,
Steve Gillmor, can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
So let's go out to the tent city. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
So, a lot of people are actually camping out here.
Try zooming in.
Which,
You have to zoom all the way in.
People are like, oh, we're gonna
Now focus.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
Camp outset here. It's about 300 people this year.
300 people, yeah.
I'm guessing, but it feels like that.
All right, we're gonna keep taking a tour. Let's go over here and see who we can find. Can you guys hear Mickey okay?
I can hear you. I don't hear Mickey. She's in the dark here.
The mic's on the other side.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm in the dark.
You're in the dark.
Damn it.
Anyway, so what are you working on?
What am I working on? I am emailing people about our big launch on Wednesday.
Very cool.
Yeah, neighborhoods.net. We're going national on Wednesday. It's very exciting.
And what is neighborhoods.net? Let me actually come over there. Hold on a second. Let me switch the camera to the front camera so that we can actually talk to you. So there they are. So what is the site here?
Neighborgoods.net. It's a site for borrowing and lending stuff with your neighbor instead of buying new.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What's Foo Camp like?
Camp's awesome. It's my first time. We just did a big talk about collaborative consumption, and everyone in the room gave me some great ideas for how to make our service better, and it was awesome so far. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
We're gonna go around. Thanks. So let's and you can see there's little sessions. I'll put this. There's little sessions going on all through the campgrounds here. This is O'Reilly's headquarters in Sebastopol, California. Let's go over here. Sorry, it's blocking your shot there. And here's the unconference part of it. They ask you to put sessions up on a whiteboard. So this, some of the sessions are Pocket versus Cloud, NoSQL databases, alternatives to obsoleting college and debt too. Slow news and news foo. Engaging with government, privacy versus collective intelligence, and on and on. And there's a big group of boards here. Let's see who we can find, some other fooders. Nick, you're live on Gillmor Gang. We're doing a FaceTime here.
Hi.
What do you do?
I work here at O'Reilly in IT.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So it's a fun event for you guys.
Yeah, it is. This is my third one. It's always enjoyable.
And how many Wi-Fi access points did you guys have to put up to support us?
I remember seeing a staff of about a dozen.
Yeah.
So there were probably more than that.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And over here, they've taken everybody's picture and put some things like this is Eric Chu and he's into yo-yos, Android, Make Magazine, etc. Let's just keep walking around here. See who else we can find. Gang.
Yeah, how's it going?
I love your shirt. It says, "In case of emergency, break dance." And Matt, what do you do?
I'm the CEO of Simple Geo,
Yeah.
and we do location infrastructure for app developers, web developers, like that.
And what's going on in the location space? Because you're sort of in the space that Foursquare and Gowalla and all these new companies are in, but you're like infrastructure between them. Explain what you guys do.
Sure. So what we do is, to get into location, it's complex. There's a lot of algorithms, a lot of work that needs to be done just to get location working within an application. You always have to have a backend to support it. There's the data that needs to exist as well. So being able to have access to where businesses are and what the weather is and different things like that. Finding that data is actually quite difficult.
Okay, Robert, can you hear me? Because you're breaking up a little. Well, we have our first FaceTime failure. All right, so this is going to be catch as catch can. Can you go back to the close-up of the camera so they can see us connect? There we go.
All right, Steve. Sorry, we're in a little bit quieter situation now.
Yeah, much better.
This is Matt Galligan, CEO of Simple Geo, and Kevin Marks is here as well.
Okay.
And we're just at Foo Camp, meeting cool people.
Yeah, so, just speaking to the location space in general, getting into it very difficult. If you were just to start up wanting to get it going into using location, having a good scalable way to be able to do provide location back from the app to the back end is difficult, knowing where to find the data. So we solve that problem. We have the data available, the developers can just
Again, we failed. All right, well, this has been an abbreviated edition of the Gillmor Gang. I'm Steve Gillmor. I want to thank Rackspace and particularly Rob Legess for having the show come back on the air. And let's see whether or not we can get Scoble back again. It says it's connecting. I want to thank NewTek and their fabulous TriCaster, without which this would not be on video. I want to thank Apple for providing FaceTime, which, regardless of how successful or not we are with this particular broadcast, is absolutely miraculous. And I want to thank everybody who showed up, and especially those who didn't. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Thank you. All right. Let's.
So I'm sitting next to Kevin, and we're going to try to log in as well.
All right, that'll be good. Although I think Kevin being that close is going to create latency between the two audios.
I can move away.
Well, don't you? We've got you right now. Don't you move?
You maybe go down there so there's no echo. Thanks. All right, so we moved apart. So Kevin's moving down there. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm
Steve?
just waiting for you to do that.
Okay,
we're going to just broadcast everything.
Why don't you tell everybody that we're coming back?
Yeah, I did. I told on the
Hey,
chat
Brady.
room.
Brady, you want to be on Gillmor Gang?
Sure.
Have a seat. All right. I got Brady Forrest here. He's a guy who invented Ignite and does the Wear 2.0, right?
Yep, and Web 2.0 Expo.
All right, now I'll put you on the headset. Just hold on. They're sharing the broadcast. So.
I don't know what kind of a pipe they've got there. What kind of a pipe do you have there?
I think it's an overwhelmed pipe. We have Google's Liquid Galaxy, formerly known as the holodeck here, and about 300 geeks who probably have 1 or 2 Wi-Fi devices each.
All right.
Or 4.
So how's Foo Camp going so far?
Foo Camp is going great. We've got, 250, 300 people here. It's definitely one of our bigger ones. I was checking out David Morrell's latest mock-ups of the Siftables project last night, and I was about to go talk with Jeffrey Powers of Occipital when Robert called me over. So it's been pretty good so far.
What is David Morrell's, what is it?
It was a TED Talk where they're small cookie-sized computers, and you could kind of they were aware of where each other were, and their UI would change based on placement and motion. So if you, say, put a 1 next to a plus to a 3, then the 4th one would become a 4. So you could play around with math that way, and you can pour colors between the different small handheld computers. There's a great TED Talk on it.
If you were to characterize the theme or the tone of this year's Foo Camp, what would it be?
There's a lot of government and healthcare here this year, because that's an area that I think could really use the Silicon Valley geek culture infusion. So we tried to bring those people here and see if we could get some cross-pollination going.
And what are you specializing on yourself right now, Brady?
Well, right now I'm focused a lot on Web 2.0 and basically the Expo, and looking at what are the technologies that people are going to want to look at in New York in the fall. Personally, I'm paying a lot of attention to Android right now, and I'm moving more and more away from my iPhone and over to the Android platform, just because I'm kind of the apps are totally there. The UI is getting better, and I'm kind of tired of things not knowing if something will be able to get into the App Store. And so I think more and more people are going to be moving to Android.
So you don't have an iPhone yourself?
I do have an iPhone. I've been alternating, but I think I'm going to make the switch in the next 2 weeks. No, I'm not going to buy the new iPhone 4.
You're not going to the new one?
I got the first one, so I'm on wait for 5 or iPhone 4GS or whatever comes out in a year. But I think I'm going to be switching to Android before then.
And which phone are you using on Android? The Nexus One?
The Nexus One.
Is it true that the Nexus One has the same kind of antenna problems that the iPhone 4 does?
I haven't noticed that, but I usually put it in my pocket as opposed to holding it. So I think that's probably not an issue I would encounter anyway.
Mm-hmm. So what's your sort of summary of what you see is going on in the location area at this point?
I think right now it is coming down to how and why are people going to share location? And it comes down to a cost-benefit analysis for consumers, which is really, is it worth me giving up my location to the service? What is it doing for me? And I think Foursquare is aiming there. Twitter is kind of getting there. I think once Facebook comes out, it's going to totally change the game. And so that's when location will become very useful to consumers. And people being able to build off Facebook will, I think, change the way people regard tracking their location and sharing their location with friends.
And what's your take on the Facebook privacy issue?
I'm torn on it. I'm a public person, so a lot of my information is out there anyway. And so I already had all of my information public. So for me, it had I had no idea what was out there. They had no idea what of their information would be known. And that was what was scary to me. That they were just totally unaware of these issues, yet have been using the service. So I think it's the biggest issue I have is the consumer awareness part and understanding. And I think Facebook has tried, but I just don't think the average user has any concept of what information that basically anything they put on the internet could be made public.
If you were picking winners right now in the micro message area, what would you say will be the dominant platform a year from now? Say Twitter, Buzz, Facebook, any other player?
As of right now, Twitter. The platform is built for messaging. I hope, and Twitter's move with adding location and places to it and adding annotations is just another step in that direction. I think there's a couple of other things. Particularly, I'd like to be able to be direct messaged by people who I'm not following. That will make it more of a messaging platform. Like, I want Twitter to be my personal phone number, basically. Like, that's the best way to get in touch with me. I don't want to give out my phone number and have someone random call me. Twitter is something I can control. It's just a small piece of text, and so increasingly I have it on pretty much every piece of contact information. Facebook I use for keeping in touch with people I know.
Ask Robert. We may not be able to hear him, but ask him if he has any questions for you.
Robert, do you have any questions for me?
No, I just wonder what else you think is going to happen in location. Foursquare is out there, and Facebook is coming. But it seems like Facebook is going to be platformy. Do you have any insight as what else they're going to do other than just let you put location on top of your social graph? Or do you think there's going to be services that join in businesses into the social graph?
Repeat
Robert,
the question for him.
Yeah. Robert just asked me if there were any other platform plays that were happening, particularly what I thought Facebook might do, if I had any additional insight into what Facebook might do and how people might be able to use that, I think. Okay. In terms of other platform plays, the new suite of services that I find really fascinating for developers are things like Simple Geo, Urban Airship, that are basically mobile cloud. They're cloud services designed strictly for mobile. So you have that lone app developer or a couple of app developers that are focused on the user experience. They need to be connected to the web. They don't necessarily want to spin up a large website or service because they want to focus on the client. And they can just plug into these services and get a complete backend. Sharing Skyhook's another one, and sharing across their service. And I think that is just going to enable a lot of people to build apps that they wouldn't normally, they wouldn't be able to spin up on their own. And I think because these services are going to get more attention and more play, we're going to see more and more location data shared across. And that's where Simple Geo, I think, has done some amazing stuff. First with creating a place where you can store all your data, geotag it, then do geo searches on it, but then secondarily having a market that people can sell and buy data. So Skyhook released Spot Rank, which lets you know how a city is trending right now. Mm-hmm. I still haven't seen any app with that, but I'm dying to. I want to know, like, where should I go to party tonight? Let's say, where are people going to be? Where's a good place to watch the World Cup, where I might hear a Vizula? And in terms of Facebook, yeah, I hope it's a platform. Like, that's been my hope. Like I want, since the death of Fire Eagle, which was a location broker that Tom Coates did at Yahoo, that was underfunded, under-resourced, and never really understood, and frankly, a little too complicated. There's been this, like, it's all best of breed. I have to pick the service that I'm updating. I want really one thing to kind of let me control my location. And I don't know, maybe it'll be Apple, for a lot of people. Maybe it could be Foursquare, maybe it's Twitter, but I think it'll be Facebook if they make that move. However, it seems like an eternity since since we've seen signals in that direction, and they haven't done it. However, it's still so early in the game that whenever I'm frustrated, or frustrated is the wrong word, I'm like, oh, they're taking so long. I think it's because they're nailing it down internally and really thinking it through, because it's going to be such a big step and potentially a fundamental change to the service, that they are just making sure that when it rolls out, it's as good as, say, the photo app, which I'm just constantly impressed with. And the way you can tag people and share that. And
it seems like this year is in mobile, it seems like the trends are maturation of the smartphone. You know, the screens are getting sharper, multitasking is working on the iPhone now. Battery life is starting to get a little bit longer, and people are working on that. You know, with Froyo is getting better. It seems like the smartphone's getting more mature. I don't know if you can hear that, Steve, at all.
Yeah, that's
I'll
fine.
repeat it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Next year seems like it's going to be about voice services like Siri, for instance. So next year, I think, will be about voice and voice services on the mobile phone like Siri, where you talk to the phone and it does stuff for you. Do you have any insights of...
I don't know. I think voice is further away. I mean, you need... So I tried. So I was giving a talk, and I was like, oh my god, this is the perfect chance to play with the Dragon dictation app. So I loaded up the service, and it's gibberish. It was nonsensical. I could not use any of that text, and I had hoped that I'd roll the slides by, riff on it, and then I'd look back at my words, and then and that would be the process. Totally worthless. Did not do a thing for me.
Yeah, and even if it
recognition apps.
Even if it did do something for you, the context translation is just abysmal. You know, just understanding a computer understanding puns, for example, is, I think, you know, when you get to that point, you're a little bit past where it needs to be in order to actually even work. Cleaning up those transcripts is just a huge waste of time because.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I agree. I mean, I think there's going to be more phones that are able to figure out your intentions, and I want more services like Siri that'll be able to figure it out, but I don't think it's going to be voice yet. Like, there's always that, you know, for so long it was going to be the year of mobile, and then it finally came unexpectedly, but I don't think we have that voice app yet, and I don't know when it's going to come. I mean, maybe in 2 years, maybe. Yeah.
I think with Siri and with some other companies that are coming into the scene that have voice works really well when your data set is known. If you know that I'm going to be at McDonald's ordering a hamburger, and you know you're expecting to hear certain words like Big Mac or Quarter Pounder, voice works awesome, right? The number of words that you're expecting to hear, it works really well. So if I say, get me a taxi in Sebastopol, it can use that to reduce the number of words it's expecting to hear, and it can put some content on that. And it'll be interesting to see what happens. I sort of agree with you, but I know it's coming. It feels like, you know, mobile was coming 5 years ago. We all knew it was coming. It just, I don't know what year it's going to be. And so I'm thinking it's next year is when we're going to start seeing some really useful 2015, 2012, 2013, 2014. But I think voice is going to be huge.
All right. Well, you were
Okay.
on
Are
the
we
way.
still there? Okay. And the other thing that I want to see HTML5 video. Oh,
Go ahead. Sorry, I was.
I want to see video become a first-class citizen on the web. That's the other thing that I'm super excited about, and really seeing how people can put video in their web apps, and like how people are going to be able to play around with that now that it's going to be outside of the Flash box, basically.
Well, then you should be thanking Steve Jobs and the iPhone for doing that.
I know. Oh no. I thank Steve Jobs and the iPhone for a lot of things. They've done an amazing thing for the mobile phone market, for bringing location to the masses, for making mobile apps possible. There's the iPhone's been amazing, without a doubt.
Where do you see the most significant website that needs to adopt HTML5 coming from?
Ooh, that's a Hulu.
Right. And what do you?
Oh my God, Hulu, of course.
And then the other side of that question is, how likely is that?
Oh, I mean, I assume it's just a matter of time. I mean, Jason Kylar can't not want the iPad traffic. I mean, the lack of Flash on the iProducts is going to be a huge driver of adoption for HTML5. It is, after opening of the mobile market and providing location to web services, like it is the next big thing that they are driving.
At O'Reilly Books, what are the numbers on Flash books versus HTML5 books?
I don't know. I can get that information for you later. But I know that we're putting we have a lot of Flash books in the in the warehouse or in the back catalog. We are working on HTML5 books right now. Like it is definitely a hot topic. And by HTML5, we have a constant debate. Do we call it HTML5 or do we call it HTML5 plus Java plus new JavaScript APIs plus CSS3? And we've arrived on what everybody's calling HTML5, but it's really those three technologies coming together.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'll let you go back to what you were on the way to going to do. I don't quite remember what that was, but really appreciate your time.
I was gonna chat with one of the occipital guys. I want to find out a little bit more about that deal. I assume it was a situation where the cost of the service for all eBay customers was more than the startup was going to cost. So they just Red Laser.
I talked with Red Laser this week. Or with,
all right, Robert, why don't you hand the mic back to Robert, and on the way out, show us your badge so that we can use that for a close-up.
All right. Talk to you later, Steve.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks. Oh, yeah, there's these cool Facebook brought some RFID tags here, and there's systems around the camp that you check into.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm here. There's a little would be an understatement. There's some latency in terms of me and you. The pack is getting reassembled. They're going through, I think, the basement and then back out through China. Can you hear me? That would be my point.
So we're hearing a little bit of a delay. I can hear you just fine.
When you can hear me, yeah. So
I can hear you just fine.
So what else have you been doing, Robert?
I've just been hanging out at the camp and talking about Android and iPhone, and Chris Abona, who runs open source for Google's standing right there, and meeting really cool geeks and having interesting conversations here in the hallway. And battery dead, so I'm going to have to take off pretty soon. Okay.
Is Kevin around?
One thing, Ray talked occipital, the Red Laser deal, and I talked with the vice president at eBay, and I've been studying eBay and what they're doing with mobile, and it's really interesting. Red Laser is, for those who don't know, is the iPhone app where you point it at a barcode and it goes off to and finds you a cheap price on Amazon or a bunch of different shopping services. And eBay wants to become the retailer for the web, and so this was partly defensive, but a little bit of an offensive play where now you can see eBay really starting to buy or build mobile services that get them into mobile retailing in a big way.
Excellent. All right, Robert. Well, thanks for giving it the college try. And
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, well, it's
always fun getting good Wi-Fi at conferences with hundreds of geeks.
Yeah, who knew? And we did. I think we got some interesting footage from the FaceTime stuff as well. I'll just sort of string it together, and it'll be a sort of an out of the ordinary gang.
Yeah, I love my iPhone. So it's interesting. There's a lot of geeks here who are really pro Android. Oh, here's Mike Harrington, who's throwing chips at me. They're all saying heck to you, Mike, for not being on the show today. So anyways, I'm going to take off, and thanks for having me on.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
This is Steve Gillmor. This has been the Gillmor Gang. I want to thank everybody that I already thanked, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.